For those of you who've consistently been tuning into my videos regarding Dragon Age the Veilguard over the last number of months, you've probably noticed that oftentimes after we talk about the main topic of the news itself for that specific video, I then enjoy hopping over to the Dragon Age Veilguard subreddit and taking a look at the immense cope that's been going on there also for a number of months. Now, more recently, specifically over the last number of days, there's been something very interesting occurring over on that subreddit, and that is the censorship that's been so prevalent there seems to be occurring less. Because it used to be that if you were critiquing Veilguard or posting anything negative about the game there, oftentimes that post would get removed by the moderators, and or you would just be massively downvoted onto the bottom of the post where no one's really going to see your comment anyways. However, things have been changing. It seems like the mods are now removing far less posts, like a significant amount less. And I think there's two main reasons for this. One being that there's just so many people now coming to that subreddit to laugh at all the cope posts and the Veilguard shills that the mods have kind of like given up trying to censor all of them. And two, because it's now well known in gaming circles how much of a failure this game is, their efforts to like cover for this game and control their own narrative have failed so much that the mods have kind of given up. With that context, we're going to take a look at a number of amusing posts from the Veilguard subreddit recently, starting with one that actually calls out the number of Veilguard shills who constantly whine about people who dislike the game, to which they even got a response from a moderator, which is really interesting because previously this sort of post that calls out the Veilguard shills would absolutely have been one that got censored, but now the mods are suddenly attempting to seem more reasonable and acting as if they've been reasonable this entire time. And then after that, we'll take a look at a number of hilarious posts from the modern audience Veilguard shills, who are so enraged by gamers for not supporting Veilguard. The very types of posts that get called out in the first one that we're about to read, so let's get started. Dear mods, every time I visit Reddit, a new post targeting people who disliked Veilguard is at the top of my home feed, and it's really starting to kill the vibe. Please, shut this stuff down. I don't come to these communities for complaining, I come for mutual appreciation. The mod response reading, I understand your concern, and I also don't want negativity and drama to be the main theme of the subreddit. If you notice closely, we are far better than other Dragon Age and BioWare related subreddits. We want to minimize bigotry, but also want valid criticism. We need a perfect balance, and we're working on it. If a user's job is only to hate and spread negativity, then you should report and mod mail us. Thanks. So this is hilarious because, as I mentioned, over the last few days, things have finally started to change on the Veilguard subreddit where actual criticism posts are being left up. But before that, they would constantly get deleted or mass downvoted. The only amount of posts you would find on the Veilguard subreddit are, like the other person mentioned, posts that complain about people who dislike the game, and or posts that are essentially like, oh, look at my rook, and or look at these two characters kissing each other. Yeah, it's basically all the Veilguard subreddit has been. So now the mods essentially get called out for removing posts that criticize the game while leaving up posts that complain about people who criticize the game, and they suddenly act like they haven't really been doing that and even claim that they're better than the Dragon Age and BioWare related subreddits, which is just absurd because those subreddits actually allow people to criticize Veilguard, while this whole time up until the last number of days as mentioned, the Veilguard subreddit hasn't allowed that. Plus, as you probably already know, their use of bigotry really just means you're not allowed to criticize Tosh. Now we'll take a look at the modern audience raging, going insane, starting with this post. Chuds ruined BioWare. Hope you jerks, my gosh, bro, so whiny. Hope you jerks are happy for ruining the careers of many employees. If you don't like it, all you had to do was ignore it and let the ones who do enjoy it, but you had to review bomb and hate grift the game, and now BioWare is on its last legs. Y'all must feel so proud and are edging to Asmongold videos in celebration of EA gutting BioWare. Who thinks like this? Once again, I hope this is a troll post. This kind of reads like one of those like very obvious bait posts you would find on a Steam discussion forum. But at the same time, I did cover an obvious troll the other day on the Veilguard subreddit. And this account actually doesn't show the same signs of being an obvious troll that the one from the other day did. And considering how many people unironically do make takes like this on the Veilguard subreddit and have been doing such for months, like, oh, the chuds are just hate brigading this game, review bombing, blah, blah, blah. It's actually a fantastic game. Who the heck even knows anymore, but pretty hilarious. A few of the top comments here, as you can see, praise Veilguard, saying things like, I actually love the game. I don't understand the hate. Further down in the comments, however, rather interesting discourse reads, you guys have to make up your mind. Are the chuds a tiny powerless minority that needs to be ignored? Or a group so large and influential they can decide the fate of games? Response they got reading, Schrodinger's chud. Powerless and almighty at the same time, as long as it's not observed. This is also something that we've discussed plenty of times on this channel. This hilarious contradiction in their rhetoric. Just as these people said, when the modern audience types are like, oh, the chuds don't matter, they're just an angry vocal minority. But then at the same time, when some massive AAA studio goes through layoffs or fails entirely, then they turn around and say, oh, the chuds did this, which is their attempt at trying to insult the people that they hate, which only fails spectacularly, because when they say that the people they hate have taken down massively corrupt corporations in the AAA space, they're just making the people they hate sound based. That takes us to the next post here, where this Veilguard shill completely lost it. Says, I almost feel bad for the people hating on the game. How pitiful are their real lives if trashing on a game is how they spend their time. So at some point, this person made a number of edits to their post, which we can see reflected right at the start here, that reads ETA, and that basically means edit. So ETA, someone pointed out that this post is hypothetical, and I agree. Yeah, so when they say hypothetical, I think they mean hypocritical. Continuing. It was posted after seeing a few too many "this game is garbage" type replies to positive posts and comments, and a bad day. I'm not excusing myself, but I think we have all done things out of frustration. I'm not going to bother replying anymore, and will just block people who don't understand the difference between opinion and fact. Probably this person. Not deleting the post, as I feel it's wrong to try and pretend I don't post this. I'm just so tired of seeing the hate. This sub is dedicated to the game. If you don't like the game, just walk away. And apparently this is hard for people. Do some you enjoy and what? Do some you enjoy and can be positive about. Do something you can enjoy? Bro, this person is completely gone upstairs. The game's been out for about 3 months. Leave this sub to the people who want to share their positive experiences. I'm not saying your opinion isn't valid, but find someplace better to share it. This doesn't include genuine conversations about why someone likes or dislikes aspects. It's the general statements acting like their opinions are facts. Can we send Manfred or San after the haters for snacks? I feel like that'd be funny to watch. What the unhinged Redditor did I just read? Bro really needs to take some time off the internet and time off shilling for Veilguard, because that's just some crazy talk. They got a response that's also really funny that reads, I've found this to be true for most culture war stuff. It's people that hate their lives, looking for things to be mad and miserable over, and trying to get others to be mad and miserable with them. Now it's happening with the Vowed. At a certain point, you gotta wonder if some of these people just don't like gaming anymore and can't handle it. So this is another reoccurring terrible point these people use in their rhetoric. They say if you criticize these games, you just hate gaming in general. Or you just hate your life, you hate everything. And it's bro, we're having a great time laughing at AAA slop. And just because we spend some of our time doing that doesn't mean that there's not plenty of other games that we do enjoy. We're laughing at the bad ones and enjoying the good ones. Pretty simple concept, but one that these people can't understand. Lastly, we'll take a look at this post that reads, hate is pointless. So what I've come to realize with this subreddit is not to be afraid to report people and block them for unnecessary hating on this game, or any game for that matter. I'm so over the controversy that people started with this game, and this page is by far the worst. I'm still fairly new to Reddit, only about 135 days in, and I'm still learning new features and what things do. But what I do know is I don't have to sit here and be hated on for every post I make about Dragon Age Veilguard. You will be blocked and reported. I've already talked to the moderators regarding this. Could this person sound any more whiny? Imagine actually typing that out unironically. You would have to be such a... I don't even want to be rude, but you got to be a special sort of person to type that out, make that post. It actually gives me a major callback to the Vic situation when that certain voice actress was threatening to report people on Twitter to Homeland Security because they didn't believe her story. Same whiny energy right there. It's also important to remember, like I said earlier, that up until very recently, that being specifically the last number of days, criticism on Veilguard was getting heavily censored, and that's only recently started changing, and these people are freaking out over it. Anyways, I had fun going over those posts with you guys. Hope you enjoyed it too. If you did enjoy the coverage, please consider liking and or subscribing. See you in the comments and in the next one.